You are now watching The Beach.
I think it's quite apparent that I absolutely love the Nintendo Wii. It has my favorite library of Nintendo games out there. Games such as the Super Mario Galaxy games, Mario Kart Wii, Donkey Kong Country Returns, and Wii Sports Resort remain some of my favorite games even to this day. But surprisingly, the great games were only part of the reason why the Wii was so successful. The Wii wasn't just popular based on marketing alone. Nintendo had a very specific idea to move the Wii into the spotlight. The motion controls are what made the Wii so successful. It was really the first console that everyone can enjoy, regardless of age. Moms who hated video games were all of a sudden buying a Wii to stay fit, only to completely cancel it out by having cheesecake after a 10-minute round of Wii Fit. The Wii was a sensation, and if there's one game that truly defined the Wii, it was Wii Sports. Wii Sports, just like the Wii, was appealing to a wide demographic. Everyone wanted to bowl or play tennis from the comfort of their own home. In retrospect, some would assume that Wii Sports was nothing more than a gimmick, but after replaying it, there's a very clear reason why the game was such a hit. It's still fun to this day and has a good amount of content. The sequel Wii Sports Resort is better in every way though. Wii Sports is fondly remembered even to this day. It's why the Switch is getting a successor to Wii Sports, despite how iffy it looks. The game, unsurprisingly, also sold very well, but high sales do not always indicate if something is of high quality or memorable. The game I'll be covering today sold very well, and I wouldn't say it's forgotten. You just need to be reminded of it, just like the assignment you haven't worked on that's due for your class today. The game is none other than Wii Play. Looking at the title, it really could apply to any Wii game. What's the purpose of a Wii game? You play it. Unless you keep your game sealed, of course. But by golly, this is certainly not a game that remains sealed. That's because it came with a Wii Remote. A Wii Remote was $40, and getting the Wii Play bundle was only $50. Looks like hot buttered popcorn, that's a deal. Wasn't just marketing. Nowadays, you pay $80 for Joy-Cons, and the only bonus you get is if the controllers actually work. Wii Play is a game that many people have played, but not many put an opinion out on it. At $10 more than just a Wii Remote, many weren't too concerned about the quality of the game, but that's what I'm here for. In this episode of Trash or Treasure, we're gonna completely forget about the fact that the game came with a Wii Remote and see how well it holds up today. The game was made specifically to showcase the capabilities of the Wii. So the question is, will you have your Wii stuck on Wii Play, or should you just stay Wii away? Just like Wii Sports, Wii Play is a collection of games, but there isn't a specific theme. It's a variety of different mini-games. You'll have to play all the games in order to unlock all of them. You don't have to win them, just play them. I'm a huge fan of unlockables in games, but the criteria is so arbitrary here that you may as well have them all available at the start. It doesn't take too long to unlock all the games, so let's take a look. The first game is Shooting Range. You point the Wii Remote at the screen, blasting balloons and targets. When I started playing it, Duck Hunt came to mind. There are references to it too, such as the bark at the beginning, and the ducks appearing occasionally. It made me want to see a modern remake of Duck Hunt more than anything. The gameplay is fine, and it controls how you would expect it to. You'll initially shoot down balloons and targets, but as the game progresses, you'll have to take down clay pigeons and keep cans bouncing in the air. The final stage, however, is incredibly bizarre. You'll have to save Miis who aren't interested in evacuating planet Earth before it's recycled. The concept for the game is great, but the execution could have been far better. What made Duck Hunt so much fun is that it was designed to be endless. Having an endless mode would make it far more replayable, or even just more levels. The goal is to get a high score, but there are only 5 levels here. It's like if Pac-Man ended after the 5th level. It's too short and doesn't have enough replay value. The next game is Find Me. Don't you dare mistake it for the legendary Street Pass game. If you've ever played Where's Waldo, the concept is the same. You'll have to find matching Miis or ones that don't belong there. It's not really a challenge finding the Miis, and if you want a Nintendo equivalent of Where's Waldo, just play the Wanted minigame in New Super Mario Bros. What's weird is that this game has 99 levels, but Shooting Range only has 5. Shooting Range is far more fun, and would have benefited from having far more levels. After you play the game for a while, you'll unlock a second mode. It's called Time to Find Me a Better Game. Next we have Table Tennis. Tennis games have been around since the creation of video games. It's a very basic concept, but it can still be very fun. But here, you're just rallying the ball in single player with no option to have a tournament. All you do is move the paddle with the motion controls, and it swings automatically. If you want a good ping pong game on the Wii, stick to Wii Sports Resort. Maybe the next game will be a ball. Okay, I tried coming up with a clever intro here, but I was so bewildered by this game, I'm at a loss for words. Pose Me is literally a game where you'll have to pose your Mii to fit in bubbles.
Hey Handball, can you blow bubbles with your spit?
If you miss too many bubbles, it's game over. The game isn't bad, but it's very weird. It also has 15 levels, so let's see. Shooting Range has 5, Find Me has 99, Table Tennis is up to 999 points. There's absolutely no consistency here. If you wanted a more traditional tennis experience than what was offered in table tennis, laser hockey may be for you. You hit a puck with a glowing paper clip and attempt to get as many points as possible within 3 minutes. Out of all the things people love about the Switch, one of them is how Nintendo's been going back to a series' roots, such as Super Mario Odyssey going back to Sandbox 3D Mario. But believe it or not, Nintendo took full inspiration from the first game they ever created here, that being Color TV Game 6, better known as Pong. The game is very similar to Pong, but you can move in multiple directions just like in air hockey. The game is decent, but again, it really should have had an endless mode. The next game is Billiards. Billiards is a game that I enjoy playing. Whenever I go on a vacation, it's always nice when there's a pool table. You would think We Play Billiards is just a virtual version of the game, but it suffers from being too simplistic. You'll be playing 9-ball pool. Your goal is to sink the balls in numerical order. I would have preferred traditional solids and stripes pools, to be completely honest. This is often considered to be one of the best games in the collection, but I was underwhelmed to say the least. But hey, it's one game in the collection. There are plenty of fish on the Wii. Looks like that metaphor was taken quite literally, because the next game is fishing. It's exactly what you would expect it to be. You use the Wii Remote as a fishing pole to catch fish. You'll get more points if you catch the featured fish or catch large fish. If I were to give the game a letter grade, it would be at least a C+. By the way, losing 50 points by catching a small fry is one of the main reasons why I'm still emo to this day. Charge! This is where you'll ride a cow made of yarn attempting to knock over scarecrows. This game released over a year before Mario Kart Wii. The game is controlled with the Wii Remote on its side, and you tilt to move and hold the Wii Remote up to have your cow jump. Unfortunately, the controls in this game do not work well at all. Oftentimes when you try to move the cow, it'll go too far in one direction, and if you try to jump, sometimes it won't even respond. And all it really is a Mario Kart DS mission. That's it. It's a one-time event without other levels. Moving on. This is the one game in the entire collection that's fondly remembered and is unanimously considered the best. In tanks, you take control of a toy tank and take down enemy tanks. Very similar to combat on the Atari 2600. I wonder if I could trade Wii Play for an NWC Gold cartridge. The gameplay is simple, but man is it fun. There are 99 levels, so it's more lengthy than the other games. You can also use a nunchuck to control the game, which makes it far better to play. I may like laser hockey more than billiards, but I'm in the same boat as everyone else when it comes to tanks. Easily the best game in the collection. So far we've established that Wii Play is the definition of a mixed bag. Most games are fun, but they often suffer from being either too short or having bad controls. The quality of the games is pretty consistent, but if there's anything not consistent, it's the presentation. Most games in Wii Play are different from one another, and because of this, the presentation for the games can vary greatly. Shooting Range, Find Me, and Billiards look just how you would expect them to, but the rest of the games are a lot more open to having different art styles. I like how Tanks has the toy theme going on, and then you got Laser Hockey looking like it takes place at Tomorrowland. But some of the games had me thinking, what on earth is this? Fishing legitimately looks like a PBS Kids PSA about not polluting the ocean. Don't throw straws in the ocean for turtles to gnaw. Recycle them because that's the law. Protect your environment before it's too late. Perhaps the most bizarre one is Pose Me. I'm guessing one of the developers forgot that there needed to be 9 games and just found a screensaver pack for Windows Vista and applied it to the game. Don't get me wrong, I love watching birds in the background while I struggle to pose in bubbles just like everyone else, but the visual presentation is bizarre and inconsistent. The sound design is decent, the sound effects sound fine. I'm not sure if I'm the only one who's noticed this, but the intro for the game sounds very similar to the unlock sound effect in Mario Kart Wii. Most games in Wii Play have music and it sounds fine, but I didn't particularly find any of it memorable. And yes, I'm not afraid to say that Tank's theme isn't anything special. The overall presentation is decent. Not bad, but not particularly good either. Wii Play was bundled with a Wii Remote. Obviously it has multiplayer. I asked my friend Riley if he remembered the game that came with the Wii Remote, and he instantly remembered fishing, so we decided to play Wii Play just like anyone in 2022 would. And it was fun! Some games have different rules in multiplayer, such as table tennis and laser hockey being a set match instead of a rally or timed, but most games are just like they are in single player. And of course, Tanks was still the best. Wii Play is more fun if you play it with someone else, but what I found disappointing is that it's only 2 players. Most multiplayer Wii games are up to 4 players, and allowing only 2 players is a bummer. But other than multiplayer, you can try to get medals for the games. Always remember to put on your resume if you got a platinum medal and pose me. But really, that's all there is here. There aren't different versions of the games like there were with the training modes in Wii Sports. What you see is what you get. And as I've stated before, games like Shooting Range and Laser Hockey would have greatly benefited from something like an endless mode, or even just more levels. The amount of content is satisfactory, but it still feels a bit shallow. So far we've established that Wii Play can be fun, but it doesn't have much to offer. Most of the games do not live up to their full potential, or just aren't that good. So what's the verdict? Long gone are the days when you could walk into a Circuit City and buy the Wii Play Wii Remote bundle. It's likely that you'd buy Wii Play as either part of a lot or on its own. The game nowadays is about $8. Is it still worth getting? Despite memories playing the game when I was younger, Wii Play is nothing spectacular. Even then I wasn't impressed. The only time I really played Wii Play was when the only other game I had on the Wii was Wii Sports. Once I got New Super Mario Bros. Wii Play was nothing more than a memory. You may think that Wii Play is trash, but it's not even that. It's a game that's just kinda there. Throughout the years, many other games were bundled with the Wii Remote such as Fling Smash and Wii Play Motion. Most consider them far better games than Wii Play. I haven't played Wii Play Motion yet, but I am anxiously waiting for my copy to arrive. You know what they say, here's the mail, it never fails. I got Wii Play Motion earlier than I expected. This was a game that I have not played before, and I asked for Fling Smash for Christmas in 2012 because that came with a Wii Remote as well, and it looked more interesting. But I did hear many positive things about Wii Play Motion over the years, so I wanted to see what all the hype was about. Wii Play Motion has more games than the original. There are 12 here opposed to 9. Most games in the original were mediocre at best, but in Wii Play Motion, the games are of much higher quality. They take advantage of Wii Motion Plus, allowing for more in-depth gameplay. One of the main issues in Wii Play is that most games did not take advantage of the Wii's capabilities. You could literally play most of them with a computer mouse, and the experience would be the same. But here, the games take full advantage of the Wii Remote. Veggie Garden looks like it would be just a standard whack-a-mole game, but you actually use the Wii Remote like a mallet, and you actually have to hit them. And with Skim Skipper, the experience comes very close to replicating skipping stones at a lake. Some games are sequels to the ones found in the original, but they are far more fun. Pose Me is way more involved than the original, and it's more challenging. But where Wii Play Motion shines the most is how it addressed many issues from the original. The games have additional modes, and you can play with up to 4 players. I got the game not even a week ago, so these are just my first impressions. But honestly, I'm very impressed. If Wii Play was Wii Sports, this would be the Sports Resort equivalent. I'm looking forward to doing a full video covering the game, as I did not expect to have this much fun. But what about the original Wii Play? Is it trash, or is it treasure? Wii Play is getting the ranking of Tarnished Bronze. The game isn't horrible, but it's not particularly good either. There is still fun to be had, but the experience is rather shallow, and it's not something I can see many people going back to. The other games in the Wii series are usually far better, with the exception of Wii Music, which I've heard very interesting things about, so I'm looking forward to covering that game at some point. We learned today that Wii Play didn't exactly tank, but what Nintendo charged for it posed it in a great position for me. But I'm ready for a newer game. Tune into the next episode of Trash or Treasure, covering newer Super Mario Bros. Wii. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments and keep calm and da-da on.